And that question is, what is total factor productivity? Okay. Something that's powered by technology. What is total factor productivity? Now, the way to really think of this is TFP, um, which TFP, and that's the abbreviation we use, is often used to describe a constant that sort of represents the total efficiency of all factors of production across the firm. Okay. Yeah, it represents total efficiency of all factors of production across the whole firm. It's there should be like a few additional kind of points to make, I think. What it's really referring to there is it's like it therefore describes technology, right? It therefore describes technology. You know, technology that is different, different to capital. This is a special type of technology that will benefit every form of labor and capital, every form of factory production, right? I think a really good example you can give, and especially relevant to this essay and the current global situation, is artificial intelligence, which of course we also call AI. Oops. So artificial intelligence, or AI, right? I think that's probably one of the most sort of frequently kind of discussed ones, shall we say? One of the most critical ones that kind of exists there. Artificial intelligence / AI. For example, it makes land use more efficient by, perhaps maybe using machine learning to to maximize the, let's say, I don't know, kind of electrical efficiency per unit, or let's say storage efficiency or something, like the maximize the sort of storage efficiency of the factory. So these are examples, right? So example, artificial intelligence makes land use more efficient by using machine learning to maximize the storage efficiency of the factory. So that is, improving land use. Then it also, in terms of labor, AI can massively assist labor in research related roles. So e.g., we can use, ChatGPT to quickly summarize some key, pieces of research for us, right? So that's another example. So that's going to be improving labor use, improving labor efficiency. Then of course with capital, AI can directly talk to capital and run, complex electrical pieces of equipment. Or AI can offer softer solutions such as, accounting help.